So on December 30th, 2023, I was bench pressing and I tore my pec. At the time when it happened, I wasn't really sure if it was a major injury or I never had really any sort of injury whatsoever. So tearing my pec, I physically heard the sound of like pop, 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 which was pretty scary, but I was like, you know, maybe this is just kind of like a minor tear, it'll heal. It turned out it was a pretty severe injury. I tore 75% of my pec away from the tendon. The tendon was completely intact and freak accident really, I just blew up the muscle, boom, right in the middle. So December 30th, pop. You know, I've got immediate kind of like a ball of tissue right here that's not connected to where it should be. I, of course, stopped the workout. And, you know, this is right before New Year's Eve. I'm like kind of on vacation mode, about to go have fun the next day and go out New Year's Eve and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, I'm in a sling. And it wasn't just that. It was like, oh, I know this is bad, but I was in a lot of pain. It was pretty painful. After New Year's and getting in with a specialist and figuring out the severity of the injury, I did have to have surgery to get the muscle repaired, and luckily it was completely successful. The success rate for that surgery is about 50%. It's somewhat difficult for the surgeon to get the muscle tissue back to where it needs to be, and then also to suture it in and make it stay. So, you know, being a long-term athlete, this is my first major injury, and learning to come back from it has been pretty challenging. After surgery, the one thing I knew is that recovery is the name of the game. I mean, I do not need to focus on being in shape right now. I need to focus on, hey, this is a lifelong injury and I want to be able to recover from it. And like I said, being a lifelong athlete, I had to get a plan in order. And the first thing came down to nutrition. In the recovery process, I need to have good nutrition. My body needs all the nutrients that it needs to repair properly. And so making sure that I get a surplus of protein in the recovery process was really, really important, because that's what your body uses to physically repair muscle tissue is protein. Whether you're doing hypertrophy, you know, regular workouts or strength training or whatever, your body is going to use protein to recover. And after an injury, especially if it's an injury in the muscle, you need that protein to recover and recover at a fast rate. So I've been using Muscle Tech protein for that. They have two different types of protein that I've been using in the recovery process. One is an iso whey, which is a very well broken down form of whey protein, which is going to help you absorb that protein really quickly. And then the other type I've been using is just standard whey protein blend, which is going to be a little bit slower digesting, but it's really helpful for, like, you know, before bed to make sure you're getting that protein in and you're digesting it for longer periods of time. Those are the two types that I've been using, and whether it's in a shake or putting in my Greek yogurt, that's been really helpful. You know, I've had people tell me like, oh, it must have felt so good to move it, and it's probably really hard to hold yourself back because you feel good and you want to get going. And I said this to a friend of mine who just laughed in my face when I said it. And I was like, you know what? It wasn't really hard to stop myself from moving because I was in a lot of pain, like straight up, like my arm felt injured and like I shouldn't be using it. So in that regard, it made it easy to go along with my doctor's wishes because, you know, it hurt and I knew not to move it. And now that I'm 3 months post-surgery, I'm really ready now to get back to training and get back in shape. I definitely lost some size in my upper body. I lost some overall conditioning from not being able to exercise. And really from now until November, I'm going to give it my all and try to get in what I hope to be the best shape of my life. I want this injury to define me in some way. I think that when certain things happen in our life that are troublesome, you have a few different options. You could either just let the injury or let whatever hard thing came in your life, you can let it kind of just rule over you and you could get real beaten down, or you could do the opposite. You could use it as a defining moment and say, well, in spite of this thing happening, I'm going to do better than I was doing before. So I'm starting on a 6-month program to really try to just get in my best shape whatsoever. And a few things that are going to help with that is, one, continuing my physical therapy to strengthen this area. But two is just to get smarter and wiser with my workouts as a whole. So this is my 6-month plan. I'm going to be tracking everything. And like I said many times so far, getting in the best shape of my life yet.